What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? It's your boy Enlightened Luciferian Praise coming at y'all once again. Welcome. Thank y'all for viewing the content and thank y'all for supporting it in 2026. All those loyal subscribers who subscribed for years, all those who've been watching my content, who've been binge watching. I've been getting the emails and keeping things pretty busy in the war room. With all due respect to those agents, man, we got a love hate relationship. I know y'all don't like truth. I know you don't. You know what I'm saying? I know you don't like truth. But the question is, why do you keep coming back for abuse? Y'all keep coming back for abuse. It is what it is to me, people. I don't care. I am a mature man to excel beyond the man I was yesteryear and just not let shit bother. Period. And just focus on the good intention and the good fight in which I have so valiantly fought for so many years. So, with that being said, let us continue. Now, if you're watching this video around children, please remove them from your immediate vicinity, as my videos are not for children. Also, this video does not constitute legal advice. The sole purpose of my information on my channel and my discourses thereof is for informational and educational purposes only for the general public, which is protected by the First Amendment of the United States Organic Constitution. With all due respect, if you are in legal trouble, hire an attorney, or I am not one. I'm a private attorney general. Yes, people, there is a such thing. Look it up. Other than that, on the airwaves, I am a man that loves to read. Now that we got that out the way, people, I don't think that a lot of people in society are very cognizant of what's taking place in society today and what's taking place more so in the respective realm of contemplative thought in regards to government. Now, I tell people all the time, you have to be aware that in the scheme of corporatocracy, which is America's so-called republic today, is nothing more than just a pyramid Ponzi scheme. Now, when they came out with these files, y'all who pay attention know what files I'm talking about. All of a sudden, you are starting to see the interconnectedness of it all. See, when we were taught that things were so fragmented and things were so elusive to not even be interconnected, it's all the same thing, people. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that a lot of people in society today do not pay attention to who, what, why, where, when is running their government. Sometimes how. But in reality, people need to start embracing the power within themselves. Stop looking outside of yourself for someone to come save you from turmoil. No, the only people, the only wise ones amongst society are the ones who basically take governance into their own hands. Now, what is this? It's called being led by the seven disciplines. And when you know what the seven disciplines are, you know how to take care of yourself. And we're not talking about anything as far as like rebellion. Because there's a book I read in college many years ago by Albert Camus, and it's called Rebel. And a lot of people think when you hear the word rebel, it has to do with uprising, rebellion, anarchy. No, there's rebels in many shapes and forms, but you won't know this unless you read that book, unless you want to just sit with a whimsical description of what one is. So, read the book, you'll get the discourse. Anywho, this government, as of this month, this corporatocracy, y'all have literally been living in a country that is literally without a sitting president as of this month. There is a government shutdown, people. And I know y'all heard weeks and weeks ago back in January where they said that, oh, it's over with. No, people. There's been another shutdown. And now you're aware of it, and I bet you didn't even know that. The reason why there's a government shutdown is because literally this country is on the brink of war. Yes, people. While y'all sitting here scrolling through your phones and just passing time by, not paying attention, this country is literally on the brink of war. So the government shutdown is not for the people. It's for continuity of government. So, people, I want you to understand one thing. This is not the basis of the conversation of the video, but I want you to pay attention very closely to what's going on outside of you. Pay attention, because the matrix stops for no man or woman. Anywho, needless to say, the topic of discussion in this video is called the IRS Form CP49 and what you need to know. Now, early this morning, before I even had a chance to start my day, as you can tell, I'm still in my pajamas. And I wanted to get this out as early as I could because it was pressing on me. And I know that it's going to happen to a lot of other people in this country, but it's up to me to use my platform to make you aware of what is to come. Now, my wife received the email from the IRS with IRS Form CP49A, which is 49. I'm not A, I'm sorry, 49. And basically, it was saying particularly, hey, we are keeping your payment because of overpayment. That's bullshit. And here I am sitting here early in the morning, you know, didn't even get my morning coffee in. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go press this issue because that's bullshit. You are in charge of the accounting of what I put on the 1040, right? And the W2. So how did you get this wrong or overpayment? Well, you had no problem before. I'm gonna tell you why. Because of a lot of this funding that is running rampant in our country, also known as ICE, a lot of funding is going on to that protocol. These people, this quasi-military functioning branch of government, also known as ICE, they're operating without being paid. I bet y'all didn't even know that. They are not even being paid. Or so that's what's being told to us. Because I don't know anyone in their right mind that will literally wake up and consider what they call a job volunteerism. You have to understand, people. If you don't see it in its brightness, that you are being screwed every fucking day, I don't know what to tell you. Me, I don't pay taxes. And I'm going to explain in the video why, before anyone gets it misconstrued, whether viewers, subscribers, or agents get it misconstrued. The reason why I don't pay taxes is because I own a trust. No trust pays taxes. Trusts only report their earnings, but there's no tax liability. It's all about how you structure yourself inside of the matrix. I don't pay taxes. I don't receive any notifications whatsoever for the IRS to remind me to do anything because I have no contract with them. Your 1040 is a contract with the IRS. I have the legitimized proof to prove to you that it is. And please, I encourage you to grab a pen and paper, pause this video, and go grab you a pen and paper, get you something to drink, nice little snack, because class is in session. Now, the publication CP49, right? Read it in real time. And no, people, this is not AI. I'm a real individual. You know, these are IRS CP49. IRS CP49 is a notice, as I said earlier, indicates that your current year tax refund was used, offset, to pay a prior federal tax debt or other legally enforceable debt such as state income tax, child support, or student loan. It outlines the refund amount, the debt amount applied, and the remaining balance, if any. But I don't want that to go over your head, people. It says an IRS CP49 notice indicates that your current year tax refund was used with your permission, now you know, to pay a prior federal tax debt or other legally enforceable debt. Now, remember when I told you that those people who use 1040s are considered federal employees? Didn't I tell you also that the only person, corporate entity, who's supposed to fill out a 1040 is a federal employee? Didn't I tell you in previous videos before the OMB number on the upper right hand corner of the form tells you particularly that the corresponding number, the OMB number of the form says that if you actually fill out a 1040 and you're not a federal employee, you can go to jail? What am I? Why am I saying this, people? I'm saying this because it's the same thing I've been saying for years. When you use a social security number in concert with the use of a 1040, this is legally what you're saying. I am, the all caps name, a shareholder in the United States corporation, not as a beneficiary, but as a trustee, a de facto 14th Amendment corporate citizen who is responsible for the debts and obligations of the United States circa 1871 corporation, and I have a general partnership to take care of the debts of the United States corporation with my own personal wealth as a pledge to support other legally enforceable debts of the United States. That's exactly what the fuck you say every time you fill out a 1040. Now, mind you, you do this blindly. But let's also go into the purpose of CP49. It says it notifies you that overpayment on your tax return was applied to an outstanding liability. What to check? Review the notice for specific tax year, and amount of debt being paid. Remaining balance, if the refund did not cover the entire debt, you still owe the remaining balance. If it exceeded the debt, you will receive the remainder. Now, what are you supposed to do, people? This is from the IRS website. So agents, don't come for me on that bullshit in the comment section. This is on the website. Verify the debt, as every debt you're supposed to do anyway. Compare the information on notice with your own records to confirm the debt is accurate, i.e. amend the shit. That's it. Contact the IRS. You do not agree with the amount, which of course we don't, because you're basically saying you're taking everything from me. I have to contest it. If you do not agree with the amount or believe you do not owe the debt, call the number provided on the notice. Now, you're supposed to take action, people. Payment. If you agree with the debt and it was not fully recovered, pay the remaining balance to afford for the penalties and interest. We're not doing that shit. We're doing 1 and 2. Fuck 3. Because if indeed you contract with them, they're going to take you on your word because you're signing these documents under penalty of the laws of perjury. Now, Internal Revenue Code 6065 says every notice that the IRS sends you has to be declared under penalty of perjury. Now, what did I just say for the wise ones who actually just picked up on what I was putting down? If it's not signed under penalty of perjury from the IRS to you, how legitimized is that form saying that they overpaid you? It's not. It's your responsibility to stand the fuck up and say, this notification that you sent me on this date, dated for this particular amount on this, you outline it for them and say, hey, according to Internal Revenue Code 6065, I'm going to stop there because if I say anything else, it's going to be considered legal advice. But those who are wise enough know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. So in other words, you have to understand that taxation is voluntary. Now, before anybody has anything smart to say, or anybody tries to come, hang around the nest and think I'm being a tax protester, which I'm not, this is a notice from the IRS itself. So, it didn't come from me. It came from the IRS themselves. So, y'all can miss me with that tax protesting bullshit. To all workers, employees, and employers regarding the voluntary nature. That's what it said. Voluntary nature of IRS Form W4. Now, I'm going to read just the top section because there's a lot. And that's going to take up a lot of time in my videos. And I don't like them to be long-winded. But I will give you the reference for you to be able to go print it out yourself. Especially the agents who might still doubt it. Because, they got Stockholm Syndrome. I guess. Maybe they just a little slow. I don't know. Maybe they don't even know how to read legalese. I guess it's a combination of the two. But anyway, for those who can pick up what I'm putting down, this is a notice from the IRS itself. This is not Lord and Light Luciferian Prince's opinion. This is not his objection. This is just me reading what they say it is. Taxation is voluntary. But here, you don't have to take my word for it. Let's go to the Internal Revenue Code. Title 26, Chapter 1, Part 31, Section 3402 P-1. Title 26, Code of Federal Regulations, also known as CFR 31.3402 P, paragraph I, provides that the IRS Form W-4 is a voluntary withholding agreement between an employer and an employee. There is no law requiring a worker or employee to complete the IRS Form W-4. This comes from the IRS, people. Wake the fuck up. But if you don't, cut this video off and act like I didn't say shit or read anything. Keep paying your taxes and keep being a law-abiding citizen. I'm going to read this the first section. Voluntary Withholding Agreements. Section 31.3402, paragraph P-1, Voluntary Withholding Agreements. From the IRS, not me. This is the notice. Subsection A. In general, an employee and his employer may enter into an agreement, contract, under Section 3402B to provide for the withholding of income, tax, upon payments of amounts described in paragraph B and 1 of Section 31.3401, subsection A-3, made after December 31st, 1970. An agreement may be entered into under this section only with respect to amounts which are includable in the gross income of the employer under Section 61 and must be applicable to all such amounts paid by the employer to the employee. The amount to be withheld pursuant to an agreement under Section 3402, paragraph P, shall be determined under the rules contained in Section 3402 and regulations thereunder. See Section 31.3405, paragraph C-I. Question and answers, Section question and answers 3. Concerning agreements to have more than 20% federal income tax withheld from eligible rollover distributions within the meaning of Section 402. That is from the IRS publication. And you learned that shit in less than 19 minutes. I gave you the code sections. I gave you the game. For those who are wise enough to understand exactly what I'm saying. You have the right to dispute it. If they're considering it a debt, you have the right to dispute all debts. Now, if you do need help to help expedite this process, this is my area of expertise. Because my wife is fortunate that she married a very handsome, intelligent young man. And I'm not going to sit back and just let her just, wait on their time. Because they didn't wait on their time when they took that money from her payments that she was actually using her own personal wealth. Your job is to contact the IRS. You think I'm not? And they must verify the debt. Sworn under penalty of perjury. But I didn't say shit. Internal Revenue Code 6065 said it. I didn't. So, for the wise ones who picked up what I was putting down on that notion, hey, you can get it. And if you don't, hey, more power to you. But at the same token, this is the reality, people. This is the sole reality. You do not have to take my word for this. No, you don't. But I suggest you do. Or else, cut this video off, go back to sleep, act like I never said nothing. But your net gross wages, that's all yours. That's your private wealth. But you make it public when you sign that contract with your employer. They're your employer/informer. They forward that information to the IRS. The IRS takes you on your word for what you make it, takes them on their word. And guess what? They take it right out your check with your voluntary consent. So you have to understand the biggest myth that they ever told people in this country is that slavery is ended. You're out of your mind. Slavery has never ended. 13th Amendment. Let us read it. See, I know when everybody talks about slavery, the first thing they want to go back to is plantation. People, grow the fuck up. Okay? Discern. Why do you think they always call it, I'm going out in the field? Now, this is employers saying this shit. A manager says, I have to go out in the field today. Why do you think they refer to it as that? Yeah, I'll let you cook on that one. I already know why they say it. You know what I'm saying? I already know why they say it. But let us read this. This was ratified on December 6th, 1865. Very pivotal year, people. And yes, it was not just about the emancipation of prisoners of war, commonly known as slaves, who are the natural heirs of this land. And not only that, the heirs of this land are being taxed on the land that they own. Why the fuck do you think I don't pay taxes? But I'll let you cook on that one too. Ratified on December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, the corporate charter, formally abolished slavery and involuntary servitude throughout the United States corporation, except as a punishment for a crime. It was the first of three Reconstruction Amendments and immediately freed approximately 4 million enslaved people. They say approximate, but I'm probably sure the numbers were drastically not that statistically accurate. Fundamentally altering the nation's legal landscape. Now, what did it say? Fundamentally altering the nation's legal landscape. Now, what did this do? It turned the private prison and industrial complex into the new plantation. Why? Because it says if a person was punished for a crime, but it really says convicted. So that's why people can go to prison and can't claim any type of civil rights violations because that's slavery. So that the prison can forcefully put you to work to make any fucking thing that they can think of, from license plates to fucking furniture. And you don't get paid shit because they don't have to, because you are now considered a ward of the state, i.e., the modernized slave. Hold on, people. Let's not let the fucking rest of society escape. You same people who go clock into a job. Your prison is just invisible. Yours is more comfy and cozy, but yours is a voluntary prison. The person in prison is involuntary. They had no choice. They were convicted of a crime. They sent them to prison. You willfully put yourself in your prison. Now, do you understand that slavery still exists in this country involuntarily and voluntarily? That 13th Amendment don't mean a damn thing. It fundamentally altered the nation's landscape. Section 2 also grants Congress the power to enforce this article through appropriate legislation. Every state has this in their legislation. Why do you think there are more prisons in most states than there are universities and schools? Because they're already getting the willful voluntary slaves to go and put themselves in debt, and the ones that owe the state go to prison. There's nothing different, people. That's why I love when people sit on their high horse and always talk shit about people in prison. They were forced there. What about you? The people who are so high and mighty, who have such a socially clean background. Yeah, you don't want to talk about that shit. Now, what does this say about Reconstruction? It was crucial to the post-Civil War era, establishing a new constitutional standard for personal liberty. So if the prisoners of war were free, they threw this shit in there the same year to re-alter the legal landscape. So let's go back further, because it's all interconnected. I know how to mix and match and put it all together for your perspective, for you to understand that nothing's changed from December 6, 1865 to today. the 20th of February, 2026. Same shit, different motherfucking day. Now, if you were of working age, which of course there were labor rights, but of course they wanted to take those away. I said it in a previous video. The government is jealous of the liberty of its citizens. This is a byproduct of that shit, historically written, not by my opinion. So you are free. You don't have to be on the plantation anymore. You do what you want to do. You are considered a free person of color. This is an improper title, but that was the title because the framework and the manipulators of statistics and otherwise designation of who a person was, the nationality, so decided to call you that. Free persons of color. So you're free. You ain't no plantation doesn't do shit. Hold on. Now they started inventing what's called Christian Black Code. Okay? Which was the predecessor for Jim Crow laws. It's all by design, people. So you were literally one of those individuals. Let's say you were young, of working age, and so forth and so on. You're healthy, you're vibrant, you're just minding your business. They came up with laws such as loitering. You didn't have a job, they could arrest you. And they did with impunity. Because remember, you didn't even know anything, why these things were being framed. You were aloof. Let's take ourselves back in the time machine mentally. I know people have some sense of imagination nowadays. You're being taken and hauled away, just like they did in slavery. But now the code, the rules, the man-made laws justified them kidnapping you and putting you back into servitude. Sometimes, in most cases, putting you back into a prison environment and then loaning you out to go work on plantation. All because of an amendment of a constitution that worked in favor of greed and corruption. These are the same laws that preceded Jim Crow. Now, I know a lot of people be like, God damn, you know a lot of shit. Yes, because I read. It's nothing different. Slavery still exists in this country. I don't care what nobody says. So your best bet is to sharpen your motherfucking sword and understand that nothing's changed. It said except a person be convicted of a crime. Majority of the people who are actually in prison, I don't give a fuck what people say, especially the people who go to school for criminal justice. They swear they know every fucking thing about shit, like shit that goes on in the system. They don't know a damn thing. But they'll sit here and turn around and say, well, they're all bad people. How the fuck you gonna say that when we know that the system corruptly puts people in prison for its own benefit? But they don't want to talk about that though. The real criminals, the ones that's actually sending these people through contracts that are fraudulent, yeah, that part. No one wants to say that though. So me, myself, as 37 years young, I nip it in the bud. Have I been to prison before? Yes, but I did dumb shit a long time ago. Yes, I have. Was it pleasant? Fuck no. Would I go again? Absolutely not. You know why? Because I love women. I like waking up to my wife every day, being free of somebody telling me what to do. Because in that situation, you don't have a choice. I have a choice today, which is why I'm using it for the purpose I'm using it for. It made me the man who I am today. So I don't see no shame in it. But I'm educating you on something that basically it's still here. And it's all voluntary. Now, it's to the point where if you yourself particularly are, tricked, manipulated into signing a contract, everyone that's in prison ever since 1938, that's in prison or jail or on probation or on an ankle monitor, they did it with their own permission. But this, all it takes for you to take your own life. Hence, the pen is mightier than the sword. Now you get it? Hope you do. But that's just historical and legal and realism all in less than 30 minutes. So people, this is IRS Form CP49. What you need to know. Hopefully you got it. Hopefully you do your due diligence. Or maybe you just sat here for 30 some odd minutes and just got a little bit of entertainment. But the choice is yours at the end of the day. Yours alone. For those who need help, assistance, In regards to stylizing anything, this is my level of expertise, which I do not mind extending, but a workman is worthy of his wages. So when I leave my email descriptions and I leave all my information, I say serious inquiries only. Do not contact me until you're ready. Let's just say that. Until you're ready. You're ready, I'll be ready. We'll meet at the middle of the mine. Okay? It is what it is. With all due respect. Now, I'm not getting paid for this, but this is something that I have seen, and I suggest that a lot of people, if you are serious about it, it is what it is. Do your own due diligence, your research, but invest in some quantum shield. Okay? This is not me being paid. This is just me just spreading good news. Quantum shields are basically nanotechnology that basically keeps you from being harmed by many devices that give off radiation. The number one device that we're exposed to as a whole as society is radiation, and it's our cell phone. Cellular phones do emit high volumes of radiation. That's why if you ever had thermal goggles on, if you use thermal goggles, basically you can tell by the heat signature that it gives off with a lithium ion battery that yes, you're exposed to radiation damn near 24 hours a day. This is bad for your health. I'm just being realistic. Exposure to radiation is bad for your health. That's why I tell men, especially men and women too, never carry your cell phone close to your reproductive organ. I am not a health specialist. This is just common sense. Don't. If you're a woman, you're doing laundry, and you happen to put the phone inside your brassiere, that's not cool. That's not cool. First off, it's on top of your heart and your mammary gland. Men, don't put your cell phone in your front pocket. Don't be put it in your back pocket. You know what I'm saying? Quantum shield yourself. It's nanotech. Invest in it. A couple dollars will save you many trips to the hospital and so forth. Long term exposure to radiation does damage your health. And slow down on the use of them fuck ass microwaves too. See what I'm saying? All that shit. There's nothing like stovetop heated food. It's heated thoroughly. Okay? So I'm just using this as an example. Or if you're a person who's on the road, or I talk to a lot of truck drivers, invest in you an actual stove that you could actually use, like or self-heating stove. All these things you could avoid health problems in the long run. But I invested in these, and yes, do your due diligence to do your research. They are approved. These are made in Japan. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that I have mad faith in my Japanese counterparts. And to be honest with you, the choice is yours. You don't have to take my word for it. I stuck one on my laptop, stuck one on the back of my phone. If your kids are always exposed to tablet usage, trust me, they're very sensitive to emission of radioactive waves. Put it on your children's tablet, put it on your child's TV, your child's computer, laptop, whatever. Choice is yours, though. You don't have to do it. It's just a wise suggestion. So anyway, people, contact me via email, support the channel. I'll leave all my information in the video description and in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that bell so every time I drop some heat, you won't be left outside the kitchen. It is what it is, people. Choice is yours alone. Peace, light, love. Y'all take care. 10-4. Agents, fuck you. I'm out.